we've seen haven't been incredibly impressive. That's not necessarily just been from Europe either. Lees will be the next ban coming in from Origen and is back into the Unicorns of Love court.
Yeah, so junglers that are up right now that are strong. Obviously, we talked a little bit about Grace, even though Europe hasn't really embodied it as much. If you look at different legions, especially the LPL, we've seen some fantastic Grace performances there. Kindred is pretty high up there still. Lee Sin is still a staple pick for Amazing. Might actually give Origen a little bit more of that early game they were looking for.
Yeah, as well as the Challenger Series from what we've seen. Graves top as well as in the jungle. We saw that being flexed in from the Banditos, the Renegade Banditos. Kindred will be the final ban coming in from Origen, with Lissandra being the second in from UOL.
I think we may actually see the Graves jungle on Amazing here. He did mention it in casual conversation that was a pick he was looking at. Otherwise, though, he still has the Lee Sin available, so they may not prio it. Lu is still available, and that is an Origen staple champion. It actually solves a lot of their issues innately as in the pick, because it gives you wave clear mid, it gives you a little bit of tempo in the game, and more importantly, you can play around one of your best performing members, which is Ven, and that is exactly the reason the Unicorns end up banning it out.
Recognize that one in there. So the first pick will be very fast coming in. It's just going to be the Tahm Kench going. Could be in the top lane, could be support. Nice flex to start off the draft for Origen.
Yeah, Tahm Kench right now is almost exclusively a top lane pick, not picked that often in the support because there are so many other good supports. And one of the reasons he really succeeds is because he denies so many plays that you can do on the carries in the game, and more importantly, because this meta has shifted to less tanks and overall more squishy targets, Tahm Kench's base damages are actually enough to keep up with that. So he can run in as a super tank with the great health, still have enough base damages. We saw it, I think, earlier today in the LCK as well, where it was, I believe, CJ versus Bennu. At least it was a match with Bennu. I don't know who the blue team was, but they had a Tahm Kench top lane, and even though you really don't expect much damage coming out of it traditionally, he just tore apart the squishies too in the fight because the base damages are still significant.
Also the same kind of thought process as Lulu to help out the team and facilitate those big carries. So picking up the Tahm Kench, a lot of sense in from Origen. First two pickups from Unicorns of Love, Corki and Lee Sin will be picked up early into the draft.
Yeah, good tempo picks. So a strong early game jungler that can make picks with an 80 carry that fulfills Steelback's playstyle, which is generally cleanup, but can also group early for poke. And Corki, let's not forget, is still a flex pick on this patch, an incredibly strong mid laner right now.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of good Corkis in the mid lane. The package can be very well utilized. Sometimes it can be badly utilized, as we saw yesterday, jumping into the enemy jungle by yourself and getting killed 1v3. Not so good, but Alistair has been picked up here by Origen.
Yeah, a little tank heavy, honestly. First three picks here from Origen. One really super tank in the top lane, tanky jungler, and then Alistair. Obviously, tank support is almost paramount, almost necessary these days, but they'll need some damage coming out of that. And usually when you fulfill these compositions with late game heavy damage mages, you actually sacrifice early pressure because you go for scaling. So Origen may fall in the same trap if Power of Evil ends up playing another Orianna or something.
Got to see what those two final picks are. Expecting some big damage dealers to come out. Azir was a pick that Power of Evil picked up towards the end of the split, so we might see that come out for him, but it's been a while since we've seen it. Steelback has picked up the Trundle, can go into the top lane, but more likely in the support role now that we've moved on to 6-1. Yeah. He did have some changes, which makes top Trundle not so great anymore. Shen is more likely to go in that top lane role. Yeah,
and Trundle support just generally lanes very well into Alistair. Alistair, pretty much whenever you face a good Trundle support, you will yield the lane and just go for some heal sustain type of plays. You can make plays if you have a Kalista on lane, but a good Trundle support should be able to win that lane, especially with an 80 carry flex counter pick possible.
Waiting on these final two pickups from Origen. The first one has been logged in, which will be the Kalista going on Sven. And then waiting for that final one for the mid lane, looking for a high damage dealer with this massively tanky front line that they've already created with the Alistair Rek'Sai and Tahm Kench. Looks like it may be the Cassiopeia, and indeed that has been logged in. Power of Evil's Cassiopeia is something to be feared.
Yeah, we could see another Z pickup here for Fox. Obviously, Hylissang is doing the signature Draven Orianna hover, because that's a message he sends to his girlfriend. Really cute. So we're never really going to consider those picks. A lot of Zed last week. King be combo with the Shen, you know, to protect him as he's going in. You have some magic damage spread out over the Corki at least. May not be the best though. A lot of Zed denial on the side of Origen, so I doubt that Fox is actually going for it. Maybe a LeBlanc, something that can threaten the Cassiopeia at least with outplay potential from distortion in and out. Having some pressure in the lane early and potentially roam a lot better than Cassio. That could be actually the pick that Unicorns need.
I wonder if that would influence the Summoner spell pickup from Power of Evil as well. He used to pick up a lot of exhaust in the mid lane when up against assassins like Zed, like LeBlanc. So when they jump in, he's able to stop a lot of that damage that comes in when they try to get their potential off. But the last pickup was Ezreal coming in for Fox, so going for the long-range poke route along with the Corki.
Yeah, so a very... It's hard to tell. How do you characterize this composition? Honestly, Unicorns of Love definitely looking for a 4-1 split. Where they want to group up Ezreal and Corki in one lane to poke, and they want to place pillars to actually enable that poke or just zone people off the turret so they can start sieging. The mid game will be rough though, because Ezreal right now has a really slow scaling blue build. Corki does have a decent mid game spike, but they'll have to poke a lot on these heavy tanks before they can actually put any members of Origen in kill range except maybe Cassiopeia, so have to see how that works out. Obviously, Trundle Pillar, a big nuisance against a very low mobility Cassio pick in the mid lane.
I feel like if this composition falls behind it against these big, heavy tanks, they'll just never scratch them. And then when you get into fights, it's like, well, we just kind of lose. But take a look at the coaches there. Sheepy and Hazel shaking hands before they get onto the battlefield with their teams. And once again, you can take a look at those full team compositions with the players. Make sure to use those hashtags. Hashtag OG win for Origen if you think they're going to take home the win. Or UOL win for the Unicorns of Love. Currently undefeated in the first week as we get into their third game of the split.
Woo!
Woo! Hype.
Lack of crowd makes us cheering up. Yeah, just looking at the compositions, really, wondering how this game's gonna play out. I think Tahm Kench actually does fine into Shen. I don't think either Shen will maybe get bullied out. I don't think Tahm Kench will ever get bullied out. So in terms of engagement, we have to look at what Origen can do. They'll definitely need to find a sort of flank, because if they all come from the front, I think it'll be easy enough for Unicorns of Love to disengage when they group and actually start sieging. So the win conditions definitely for Unicorns is post 14-15 minutes, group up, start sieging towers. And for Origen, it's to do well in individual lanes and try and shut that down.
Yeah, let's get into this one. So Origen looking for the fan out to start off the game, likewise with the Unicorns of Love. Maybe not likely to see a lane swap up in this game, at least from what we're seeing in terms of where they're currently standing. Soaz in the top lane has picked up the Corrupting Potion in the jungle. Amazing actually opting towards the refillable potion versus Fox to start off this game.
I'm actually curious for this top lane. Shen usually wins by out-sustaining with Warped Blades a lot against melee matchups, but Tahm Kench is just Tahm Kench. So I want to see how that plays out 1v1.
Hillisang waiting out here, has seen Power of Evil, Miffy, just going to place down that ward, and actually with the Chomp is able to clear it away.
Yeah, obviously.
Places down his own ward, so 2 wards have to be used to get that vision.
Yeah, Chomp has an auto attack reset built in just the same way Leona Q has, for example, so it's auto Q auto, clear wards.
Minions have spawned.
Hillisang, the mental advantage going into the game.
Yeah, got that slight CS advantage. Using the game already, amazing. A little bit caught out here by Diamond Prox, an extra auto coming in after the Q. That puts him low for the initial jungle clear.
Yeah, and that's actually big, because back in the day, maybe you could base, but because Cam spawned at 140 right now, he's starting his jungle on 60%, and that may actually influence his level 3 gang timing. Yeah, he has to use potion there.
Already got through 1 stack of that one. Soaz going to be helping him out there, so won't be taking too much damage from this camp, and it's clear shouldn't be too bad, but yeah, might influence things down the line. It may change what Diamond Prox chooses to do.
Oh, interesting. I was going to say Niels, but obviously it's Ven right now. Start W, pretty early lane. We've seen a lot of Kallistas recently go for the E to maybe easier losses, especially since you have a melee support that won't be able to provide that initial passive part to get that proc off.
So this is interesting if you take a look at the Keystone Mastery that Alistair is running. We were having some discussion in the office about it, but it's the wind speakers. So this is more of a team fight Keystone Mastery to pick up, because when you get later into the game, you give everyone you heal, because this heal is AoE, extra magic resistance and armor. So it's not looking for the lane, not looking for the Bond of Stone just with Sven, but more as a team fight pick, which makes sense when you take a look at this composition.
Yeah, definitely, especially against those tanks, you know, the added bonus of that and the power of those heals. But yeah, in lane it doesn't really offer very much. Alistair Kalista should be safe though. They should never die 2v2. They can maybe get zone up CS, but Corki and Trundle's laning patterns are pretty obvious, really. So barring any ganks or really good package usage, this lane should be even on both sides. The outplay is easier to do even on the side of Kalista and Alistair.
Both of them hit level 2, and Hillisang can't really get in range of the Alistair. He just hangs back. Mid lane though, Fox up against Power of Evil. So a couple of trade things happen. Just Fox trying to get out of the way of some of the Noxious Blasts, but There's not too much happening in the early game in this lane.
Yeah, this is a matchup that is basically exemplified what you want to do in mid lane, which is punish people when they walk up to CS. So whenever Cassio goes for a CS, you want to get that Mystic shot out. Whenever Fox walks up, you want to make it drown in poison and maybe engage for the all-in. Power Weevil getting pushed though, so that puts pressure on Cassiopeia, forcing her to use much more mana on the clear. And Fox is pretty safe because he can always shift out a potential knock-up flash from Amazing. So really smart from Fox to just really power push early.
He did miss a lot of minions though while trying to power push because he was continuously hitting the minions and missing some of those last hits. Top lane though, Soaz up against Vizicachi. Well, 2 tanks, so they're just going to be bashing away, but not really getting too much done. However, that lane was pushed in, and Soaz loses a lot of minions, almost 10 minions behind at 3 minutes in or 4 minutes in is quite a big disadvantage up against the Shen.
Yeah, the Tahm Kench isn't as tanky yet, hasn't picked up any resistances, so the repetitive bullying that we see here from Vizicachi, you know, auto Q, auto coming out, and the fact that he can sustain himself up while pushing, made it so that he pushed into Soaz, and Soaz did a poor job blasting under the tower. So again, good matchup read here from Vizicachi.
So it's not really in danger of dying, but missing minions more than anything.
In a way, this influences the early game, at least if this continues. Obviously, the first few levels doesn't matter, but if every lane is pushing, it makes it incredibly hard for the jungle to operate in between those lanes. So Amazing has a hard time operating, going aggressive onto Diamond Prox's jungle because both laners will be able to react a lot quicker since they're pushing in their opponents in their respective lanes.
Wonder what Diamond Proc will do from here then. Currently, he's just gone back to base, picked up the Tracker's Knife and a Pink Ward as well, so that may be a defensive one. Or he might try and get into the jungle of Amazing. A little harder because Tremor Sense, but Soaz picking up Vizicachi will be jumping back through, but Amazing being there and the flash knockup under tower. This is a little bit risky with Diamond Prox with the counter guy. Will flash after the auto attack. The gold goes over to him for the first blood. Another tower shot lands onto Soaz and the follow-up for the double kill coming in for Diamond Prox.
And this is massive, and this is something we've seen before from Origen. They're just not on the same page right here. Soaz knew it was too risky, especially since Diamond Prox hadn't revealed himself on the map so far at all, and then overall they won that trade, but Amazing goes in for the greed, and you can just see how close that really was. Diamond Prox beautifully outplaying there. Really Vizicachi too, just that 1 Q auto, we're gonna see it again. So Soaz acts as if he's laning normal right now. You see Amazing is not committing right now because he wants it to seem as if it's a normal 1v1. Chachi flashes and here, look, Soaz turns around. This is no communication here, whatever, because they could have popped Chachi because all he needed was 1 extra auto after what's going to happen next here. So imagine if there was 1 additional auto a little earlier. Maybe Chachi dies, maybe it's a 1-for-1, but now Diamond Prox, not only do they get the kill there, they also allow that massive wave to be soaked up perfectly. No CS denial. Imagine if they just waited out a tower, had Vizicachi on 20%. He couldn't touch any of that CS, even if Diamond Prox joined. So a big error in communication for Origen. And that spells bigger problems than any draft, really.
And what we can say for certain is Diamond Prox's performance in week 1 was not a fluke. That was just a good read from him going into the top lane.
I mean, it was still, I don't know, man. It's an instant play. It was fantastic play, really good mechanical play. But from shot calling wise or pure strategy, there's not much you can highlight because it was really,
We happened to be there, right?
It was like, these guys are diving, really? Well, I'm Lee Sin, so I'll just take these 2 kills. But yeah, 2-0, stats don't lie.
Sure. He was in the area though. And Fox continuing to farm up. Both of those kills went to Diamond Prox though, so he's picked up the Warhammer. So actually, going to be way stronger than Amazing if he finds him in the jungle. Also hit level 6 off of that gank as well from the extra experience. So he's got that huge spike in power. So if he goes for another gank, his ability to flash kick, or if he finds Amazing, has the ability to execute in the jungle.
Kills did go to Diamond Prox, so only assist for Vizicachi, so Soaz isn't punished as hard. You can obviously start building tanky, wants to reset that wave. We need to see if Amazing can get a gank somewhere. That's the problem right now. He's obviously very far behind Diamond Prox. If it comes to any altercation in the jungles, Diamond will win that. He can also start ward jumping behind mid lane right now for a kick. That's what he's looking for. But it's hard because obviously Fox will have to change his movement. If Ezreal from Rack's range suddenly starts playing closer, the gank generally is given away.
Kind of easy to read. With Power of Evil, also with Flash and his ultimate still going anywhere near that turret if they're even going to take any damage is very, very dangerous. Diamond Prox chooses not to do that, but will pass over a ward here, which was placed down, I believe, by Amazing with the Tracker's Knife. So we're going to see him going into the top side. Tunnel goes into the bottom side, though, from Amazing. Take a look at the double pink wards being set up in Rift, though, by Origen. already establishing that vision control so they can track Diamond Procs.
Yeah, that's a really good point. These pink wards in the river is definitely what you want in this patch because they're so cheap, and even if they last only like 1 or 2 minutes, the fact that you gain vision there and you have guaranteed knowledge if they don't have any vision in the area, and very often they last longer than average wards right now, which is only like 230, definitely worth doing. So teams should really invest more in pink wards.
And speaking of pink wards, it just spotted out amazing as well. So you get so much value from those things. Only 75 gold, so the price of old green wards, so there's really no reason not to. Amazing into the jungle now of Diamond Procs. And knows he's not in that side of the jungle. Also knew that he cleared it recently, so you get a general idea of where Diamond Procs is currently. So as he's trading up against Chachi in the top lane, but it's not a whole lot of damage as he shadow dashes away. Takes a bit more damage, and those auto attacks do more.
And this is exactly what we were talking about earlier. Yeah, early game, the Vorpal Blades regen and the repetitive harass matters, but even, this is not even like mid game, this is like early game phase 2. The tankiness, the innate tankiness and just time catch with the levels becomes so strong in a 1v1 scenario that nobody can sustain him, and he just bullies you out. Even though Chachi has an experience advantage, has 2 extra assists. Yes, he did opt in for CDR boots, who don't give you even that many pure combat stats, but in an extended fight, you know, CDR is still valuable. So as a straight up winning that trade, even though he's down 0-0-2.
Only got the Barmy Cinder as well, so it's not even like he's super well built in this lane.
Nope.
That being said, Chachi has gone for the Lucidity boots, so not a tanky option in top lane, but he's not really in danger of dying 1v1.
And one issue the Unicorns have here, composition-wise, is that they'll be waiting for action to happen from Origen, and then punish that with a Shen teleport. But there's very little proactivity on their side, unless Diamond Procs finds an opening behind somewhere, using the Shen ulti on himself and ward hopping, because there's otherwise it's so incredibly hard to force any kills. Like Trundle Pillar is the only inkling of engage that they have other than that. So Origen being slightly behind isn't the worst, because the Unicorns can't push their advantage unless they group and siege turrets.
Well, the most proactivity we've seen from Diamond Procs so far has been taking that blue buff in the jungle away from Amazing. He's now still staying around the area, having taken the crab, has the extra movement speed as well to quickly react to a potential top lane gank from Amazing. And Alistair's also heading up as well. Miffy looking for this play to be set up, but I believe Diamond Procs has seen it out. However, he's just on the edge of vision from that ward that was placed down by Amazing.
And what all prompted this was Corki initially picking up the package, so a lot of teams will make map-wide plays, never return to bot lane with the package. Diamond Procs about to face check.
This is not going to be good for Diamond Procs. So much damage already. Headbutts it into the tower. Soaz just needs to lick him down, and then gets the shutdown onto Lee Sin. Also gobbles of Vizic Chachi, puts him under the tower. Now Steelbacks and Hylissang has to back away, and Power of Evil there to meet Chachi, so there's no way he's going to get out of here. Fox also reacts from the middle lane. He'll have to get out of here.
Yeah, and this is an example of playing a week 1 style in week 2, where AD carries pick up the package, they think they're being smart, let's not return to bot lane, but Origen this time, instead of being behind on the plays like League 1, they're ahead of the curve. They know Corki's going to a side lane, they know it's likely not going to be mid, so they head top. Midfeed beautifully reads that. Again, a little bit of miscommunication, both knockups at the same time, but Diamond Procs gets obliterated. Unicorns have left panic engage with the package instead of calling up that play, and suddenly you're looking at a big gold lead here from Origen, thwarting the growth of Unicorns, and we likely will not see them group as much anymore, because right now they're under threat of a potential R-Flash engage from Power of Evil, for example.
Yeah, at the very least, it was a little unfortunate for Diamond Procs as he was on the very edge of that vision range. Generally, kind of a weird vision placement or a ward placement to be placed right there at the jungle entrance, so he wasn't expecting that one. Mid lane, Power of Evil opted towards the swiftness boots. He had that as well with the alacrity, so he roamed to that gank actually very quickly before Fox as that happened. So even if they reacted at the same time, there's a lot more movement speed over to Power of Evil. He did that immediately after the tier as well, so prioritizing that mobility a lot in this game.
Yeah, and we're seeing the issues here of laning both Ezreal and Corki. I mean, it's fantastic if you get the group, but Diamond Procs is asking himself, how do I gank this lane? And the only gankable lane he has, where he has CC that to enable him, was the Shen lane in top. But you can't really gank a time Kenshi if he has any bit of support right now. You're going on Miffy, he should have his ultimate available, so he should be fine.
But he hasn't activated it just yet, and he's already down very low. Fate's Call will come up and maybe re-engage onto Chachi. Now he pops the ultimate and the heal as well. Chachi will still follow up though with the Stand United onto Miffy. Sven turns around, gets the Rends off for the kill onto Hylissang, and with amazing Soaz closing in from the backlines, they should have enough CC maybe to get another kill, or at least burn some summoners. Chachi is not in a good situation. Has to just walk away from his allies. Steelback may also go down here to Amazing, and that will be the kill finalized. Dimeprox now being followed after, but he is too slippery to kill. Another 3 kills over to Origen.
Yeah, and just oh so tanky. They just don't care. They walk through that tower for absolute ages, and because they have double tank there, Soas can just soak up so much. And this time, we saw what was lacking between Soas and Amazing was exactly there between Mithy and Sven. No nerves whatsoever, super calm, no panic ulti from Mithy. Very often when Alistar's reach about 30% in solo queue environments, you will see both Fate's Call come out and the Unbreakable. Play Ruin. Now, they know they have Fate's Call, they know they have heal available. Mithy popped his ultimate later on, and meanwhile, Niels or Sven right now is just stacking spears over and over, and then just goes like pop, reset, gets the kill, and at that point, Unicorns, yeah, they've lost that point.
It was very impressive. Even I was starting to panic as well. It was like, you need to ult, man.
Do something.
You gotta go.
It's like when you're watching a show and you're really rooting for the characters. Do something, please.
But it was all an act from Origen, and
But we can't.
got them those kills.
Because we have to be impartial, Pulse.
Oh, that's right, yes. Indeed.
No bias.
Oh, Chachi in this jungle. I believe he was seen out by the tremor sensors. He just walked into that bush, and the ward goes over the wall, so now they know Chachi's here. He has the Shadow Dash and his Flash, so he should be able to get away. Power of Evil over the wall. That's a lot of damage from Twin Fangs. We'll get that blue buff. Yes, it is a blue buff, and it doesn't have that many resistances, but still, 14 minutes in, a lot of damage. Amazing heading up to the top side to defend his turret as well. From the siege coming in from Steelback and Hillisang. Decent minion wave, but now only casting minions. He really wants to get in there and get the Queen's Wrath down, and gets a knock up onto Hillisang, so it's enough to dissuade them from going any further. Dimeprox looking to react here, along with Soaz. It'll be the 3 versus 2, but with both of them being so tanky, now being Soaz and Amazing, not going to look for the dive just right.
Yeah, more importantly, you get punished for diving in top Kench because it takes a while to kill him, and it takes him barely any time to get 3 stacks on you, and then he eats you, and then the play is pretty much ruined. Especially Tower Aggro can't shift and stuff like that, so it's incredibly hard, almost impossible. And OG right now, yeah, both Power of Evil and Sven have really big marks painted on their heads because they're repetitive damage dealers. Like, they either stack up the Twin Fangs or the Ren stacks, and if you can get them out of the fight, really Origen will lack damage overall. But to reach them, it's very, very hard, especially since you have to take into account there's Devour, there is the best peeling support right now in this meta. This is why Alistar is very often picked first pick over in LCK LPL, especially this week, so it's gonna be a tough climb for the Unicorns.
Oh, nice Shadow Dash by Chachi, getting out of the headbutt there.
Yeah, that actually changed. Well, when they nerfed Alistar's headbutt to, I think, 1200 missile speed instead of 1500, a lot of these interactions where you hop over the Alistar or through the headbutt became possible. It's really annoying. The Alistars will have to take that into account and just wait for people to dash gappos on them and then queue them up, knock them back.
Certainly triggers me as I played a lot of AP Alistar and so much just Flash well. That's all my combo damage gone.
Yup.
Lucky.
You're never lucky.
No. Hillisang though gets the pillar down, but Sven has a hop, so he's able to get over the pillar. 5-2 currently. Origen significantly ahead of Unicorns of Love, and this is something you mentioned in Champions Select. As soon as Unicorns of Love start getting behind with his poke composition with Ezreal Corki and Yukon start chunking out the front line, that's already very tanky from Origen. How do you get back into this game?
The one play they have right now, it's Taunt Flash into package or package Shen delivery. So Shen ulti into package, knock somebody out, instant taunt, and then follow up with Trundle, stealing some resistance to some guy and trying to wreck him. Because the cool thing about poke is that it's repetitive low cooldown damage that you can really disincentivize people from fighting you. But if you have to use it in a defensive manner, it's not instant wave pool. Like, none of these champions blow up a wave immediately, so Origen can actually set up for sieges of plays, and playing poke from behind is just excruciatingly hard. So Unicorns definitely need to start making a play, otherwise Origen will take complete control. You just look at the towers. 3 towers still up at 16, 17 minutes. That means Unicorns did something wrong.
Already falling behind, and the gold differential doesn't really tell the full story as well. Only 4,000 gold ahead. Origen still significant at 17 minutes into the game though. 2 dragons over to them. Unlikely we'll see a 5 dragons play, but still ahead in this one. The first dragon, definitely one of the more valuable ones because of the extra AD and AP it gives. Definitely more combat stats versus the other buffs.
Yeah, more importantly, just the openings are getting fewer and fewer and far in between. If you look at Dimeprox, the only play he made, or whether you can argue whether it's that he could have made or that he made really that in the middle, but it was one counter gank in the top lane. That was a reactive play. Right now, Unicorns have not set up any waves, any groups, any package plays, any Shen ultimates proactively, and that is seemingly coming to bite them.
Chachi Takes a bit of damage from Amazing, but has that warded up already. There's a big push coming here in the top lane with the minion wave, so Origen should be able to rotate towards this. And with no one really in position from Unicorns of Love with decent wave there, it's going to be very difficult to stop them. That being said, Chachi has his taunt there. Alternatively, with the kick, might be able to get something done.
Yeah, and you can definitely see how they pivot around that really big area with Fog of War. They have complete vision control over the Rift Scuttler already, even though they don't want to. Soaz may have bitten off more than he could chew. Nope, he still has his entire health bar and great health available. We can definitely see the vision control Origen have set up right now, and especially since these pink wards last forever, they can just keep doing the same thing. Pressure in on 2 lanes, remove any possibility of counterplay from Unicorns as well for the next 5 to 6 minutes. And then they have another option on the table, which will be Baron. Right now they take the Rift Scuttler. Obviously won't really do that too much for them. But they just have so complete vision control right now. And Unicorns have left all their moves would be obvious. And then it's so hard to find an opening.
I really like giving the Herald over to Sven as well. Not only giving him extra combat stats, the 10% extra damage to dual Chachi, but also for the additional wave pushing potential it gives. Just kind of signifies he's going to be the one doing split push in the 1-3-1 in the top lane. Oh, the E does not land from Chachi, but Steelback's there to back him up, so it's not going to end up in the, a big issue. Frostbomb will clear out the rest of the wave, and now Sven will back off. Yeah,
one of the biggest things on that buff, actually, is that it gives you 40 extra base movement speed, which actually matters a lot in this game. Just it allows you to really be a lot safer and be even harder to get caught, really. And that's what you want, you know, just avoid these risky situations. Right now, Origen grouping up with 4 people in the mid lane. Ezreal's doing blue buff right now, so that tower's gonna fall. And if this mid lane tower falls, it's going to get a lot worse, because what Origen's doing on the left side of the map in terms of vision, they can now mirror on the right side, and they have complete control of this game. They won't even have to ward their own jungle anymore. Unicorns of Love don't even remember what the Raptor camp at Origen's side looked like.
No, and you can take a look at that vision line as well, progressively getting closer into the Unicorns of Love territory. They're gradually being choked out of this game. Amazing will just go right into the enemy jungle and take away this red buff as soon as it comes up. There's nothing that Unicorns of Love can really do about it because they're not setting up any of these plays.
Your buff? My buff. So he takes it. Niels can safely path through the enemy jungle to the top lane. So Origen, thanks to that vision, they get to cut corners. Whereas Unicorns, thanks to the lack of vision, they need to circumvent the corners. They have to take the whole safe path all the way around, or they will risk getting caught right now. And that enough gives you, over time, gives you just a gold advantage, because, hang on, they're finally seeing an aggressive play here. No more extra movement speed, jukes the taunt.
Wow, gets out of it and just turns around as well with Amazing coming in. So as the cavalry has arrived. That's the first kill, made that the second. And Hylissang looks to be going down in this engage as well. Fox is there to assist his allies. Power of Evil with the flank blow, with a big ultimate for 1-2. Kill, 2 kills, and maybe the 5th as well. Making that the clean ace. The triple kill coming in for Sven.
Ace for Origen, and all on the back of Sven doing that absolutely, and Quickshot hates this word, disgusting sidestep. That's how you tilt an entire team. Everybody's looking at that play. It's like, okay, Shen's gonna land. He's gonna miss taunt. Okay, that is 5 kills into a Baron here. And that is literally game over.
So many resources pumped into that play, Greppo.
Let's watch that again. So Sven, he has a little bit of the buff left. Trundle Pillar makes him path around, that's good. Diamond Prox goes in. But I think you should have War Dash if you had it potentially, or flashed preemptively, because you know Sven's gonna flash, so you don't want to trade flashes there, and that's just sick. This is why Sven is one of the best, just 80 carries, in my opinion, in the world when he plays on his A game.
That was insane, and Hylissang will also go down here. They lost everything from that.
Yeah, and then R flash for Power of Evil. Remember, it's not flash R because it's Cassiopeia. Miffy comes in, knock up, knock back. Problem knocks, that's Alistar for you. But overall, what I want to take away from this clip is what Unicorns did is the right play in the situation. You have to hard engage force. The issue I have with the play is that they did it when they were 6,000 gold down, and they didn't recognize that it would come to a situation like this. If you respect your opponent to play well, you know you will have to force something like this, and they could have done it at 2,000 gold disadvantage, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Instead, they decided to wait at 6,000, and right now they're behind 11,000. TLDR, play to your win condition. Imagine how the game is going to play out and predict your future, and if it's not looking too grim, try and change it.
That was the one play that could have potentially brought them back into this game, but now they're dropping left, right, and center, dropping like flies. Hillesang goes down, middle turret will be falling to Origen as well. Just a matter of time before they start cracking the inner base. I believe that was just a W from Soaz, which chunked Fox out. Hasn't built any AP either. He's just so far behind in this game. The middle turret goes down, looking for the inhibitor as well. It doesn't look like Unicorns of Love have a chance in hell at winning this game.
Yeah, you said it in Champs League calls, like what if they get behind, you know, what if these tanks actually get really tanky and the AD carries don't do as much damage? Well, then exactly this is happening. Blue build Ezreal is still scaling up. Corki has passed his major power spike, which is the boots, the Magic 10 boots with the Triforce. They did poke out Power of Evil here, so that may actually stop the push a little bit.
May or maybe not, because Miffy comes in with the engage and Steelback goes down. Fox tries to escape and Dimeprox tries to kill the back line. Does manage to get Power of Evil, but everyone else on the team of Origen is just as strong. Miffy still CCing up the two retreating members of Unicorns of Love. That's a 2-for-1 plus the top inhibitor, and this may be curtains for the Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, good flying from Dimeprox, comes around, takes out the main damage dealer on paper, but at this point in the game, everybody is a main damage dealer, bar maybe Miffy. Origen looking to clean up Nexus towers. This is all from one push, by the way. This is a couple tier 2s, the entire base in shambles, almost a Nexus tower, so this will be an absolutely insane Baron power play.
Amazing, just backing up here. Dimeprox seeing if he can get anything. Maybe one of the stragglers who's trying to retreat. Miffy, an amazing low. Miffy already used his ultimate, but with the Baron buff still alive, they have enhanced recalls. Has to be very fast on the draw if they wanted to kill, and just can't find anyone from Origen. So Unicorns slunk back to their base, have to clear out some of these minions. And sometimes in these situations, to be like, well, at least they're getting some gold come into them as the minions push in.
Yeah, that's what you tell your team. It's like, guys, it's okay.
We can still win, guys. I'm in my promos. Don't surrender.
We're getting free farm right now. This is all a trick to lure the enemy into a false sense of security. They give us 2 lanes of free push. Yeah, I think it will be 3 lanes of free push, and then Origen will get plus 50 gold from the Nexus really soon. Complete control. I mean, if they manage to somehow throw this, they're actually at 3 dragons already, which is super early for this meta, so yeah. The Unicorns, it is obvious though, their plays. Let's watch this again. Good move by Dimeprox, by the way. Really good flank here, and on Power of Evil, and Origen being actually a little overconfident. Sven is untouched. Miffy double knock up here. Fox just can't get it. You know, he's a poke champion. He's not made for these close range duels, especially not when 12k behind. Not at this point in the game. Late game, Ezreal does more damage than Kalista in most settings, but it's just not there yet.
Origen going to make sure they can kill every single tower in this game to maximize their fantasy points. The bottom tower will be falling as well. Dimeprox going to try and make a play perhaps with Chachi on top of them. Also, as this is going to eat him and stop that from happening. Jumping onto Sven here, see if they can pick up that 1 kill, maybe start the ball rolling. But Chachi already chunked down. He has to get out of this fight. Dimeprox jumps in, immediately CC'd up and taken down. Here's Sang, gets on top of Power of Evil, but even out of mana, he's going to go out as well. Double kill over to Power of Evil. 4 kills for 0. Not a single tower has gone down for Origen in this game, and Chachi is just left alive to try and stop this from happening. But the Nexus will be falling, and Origen take the win over Unicorns of Love.
But yeah, for the Unicorns going home, it'll be a very easily adjustable defeat. It's not like they lost in many key moments. It is, yes, the draft, and more just playing to your win conditions and trying to break out of a losing situation quicker. It took them way too long to realize that that was the play they had to force, and honestly, it was a nice try. It just happens to be that Sven's the god, and he sidesteps the Shenton point blank, which is really, really impressive, honestly. But yeah, Dimeprox gets 2 kills there on a counter gank, then gets 1 more at the later stages of the game, and otherwise, the Unicorns did nothing.
That basically summarized the game there, Crepo. Maybe next time try a play onto Power of Evil instead. Maybe it will work out a little better. But yeah, that dodge from Sven was sick. And everything revolved around that to finish out the game coming in from Origen.
Yeah, and even more impressive was just the setup for that. Just perfect vision control. Origen played it out slowly. They reacted to the roam on top. They predicted the one move that the Unicorns were making with the package. And at that point, once you're in your opponent's head and you're predicting their moves, yes, Dimeprox was on the edge of that ward. That was very unfortunate, but you need to have the flexibility in your play to account for at least a 1 counterplay, right? You need to have flexibility in your playstyle. If your opponent knows what you're doing on step 1, then you need to go to step 2 at least. If you don't have that, then it becomes too predictable, too easily to read. Origen obviously were a world-class team, so they're slowly getting back into form.
This answers a couple questions